Coach Wheeler, can you give us few tips on how to deal with the grief?
How to deal with grief?
Yes.
Grief's a very tricky thing, and I think a very personal thing to each individual. So again, I think most of our thoughts and our mindset and our reactions and our actions to things come from how we think and how we feel. And understanding our values and our principles attached to those values and our human needs is very important. But obviously with grief, the very tricky thing to do is about a specific person. You know, you've lost someone close to you, a parent, God forbid, a child, your partner, something like that. So it can be a very devastating thing. But what you really have to do is you have to think to yourself and remember and remind yourself of the memories that you had with that person. And that obviously you had a deep love for them. You must cherish that love and you must respect that love. So what you should do, instead of crying about it and feeling miserable about it and kind of letting it destroy you, is celebrate. Use it as a celebration. It's a very small shift in the way you're thinking. Instead of sitting there feeling sorry for yourself, feeling sad, feeling remorseful, which is understandable because you lost someone very dear to you, but it's understanding to celebrate that love, to celebrate those memories, all those stories that you've got with them, those times that you shared, you know, those memories that you can look back on and think, wow, I remember that good time we had, that party, yeah. And even when we had that argument and we kissed and made up, and those beautiful memories that you can hold on to and you can use them as your energy. Some traditions and some cultures, they celebrate death because they believe it's going to another lifetime, another dimension. And even if you're not spiritual, they still celebrate as a great time that, wow, we shared times with that person. So you need to try and remember that. And also, this is a bit of a different shift, but it's also worth thinking of, sadly, why did they pass away and leave you behind? Maybe you were the one that stayed behind because you needed to be that strength. They couldn't have coped without you. You needed to be the one, and sadly that's your burden. But when they passed away, they needed to go first because they weren't strong enough to be on their own without you. Do you understand what that means? It's a very tricky thing to think of, and we're all going to think it's unfair. Listen, life is unfair, life is cruel, and it can sometimes do things to us that don't feel fair. And in moments of grief and when you lose someone close to you, it's never fair. But trying to hold on to your memories, celebrating who they were, and realizing that maybe you needed to stay behind because they weren't strong enough to be that. You had to be the one left to hold on to that and celebrate who they were, and also celebrate with other people. You know, I know that when I die, at my funeral, I want everyone to be happy, for it to be a celebration. You know, people dancing. I don't want you wearing black. I want you wearing colourful clothes. We'll have a bit of a party. We'll have a little bit of a boogie and celebrate who I was, the good times, yeah? So that's my way of dealing with grief. You know, there are other ways that we can do it, but that's one I would suggest, and I think is a good one, a happy one, a positive one, and something we can really use. I hope that helps.
Thank you so much.